Ah, yes, the Geico Gecko in migration. Driven by primal instinct to help people save hundreds of dollars on their car insurance.
Hey, do you see that guy over there? He's giving me the heebie-jeebies. Gotta be kidding me.
What a clever creature.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
A big system means big waves and big surge.
As Ike targets Texas, stay with the Weather Channel.
You haven't evacuated. The time is now. You can still do it.
For the most up-to-the-minute information on Ike, keep watching the Weather Channel, your hurricane authority.
The Weather Channel is brought to you by this cable or satellite provider. You can also get reliable forecasts from the Weather Channel through this radio station or newspaper.
Stay tuned for your local on the 8s, brought to you by your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams paint store. You'll be amazed what happens when you ask. Ask Sherwin-Williams.
Bring your home to life, naturally. At your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams paint store, our exceptional products with the Green Shore seal, like Duration Home and Harmony, are not only beautiful, they're low odor and durable too. So if you're thinking green, just ask.
Ask Sherwin-Williams.
Now save $7 a gallon on Harmony and Duration Home.
Coverage of Ike continues here on the Weather Channel. Now, your local on the 8s. You're watching the Weather Channel, your hurricane authority.
All right, good afternoon, everybody. Here we are on Galveston Island where we continue to watch and await Hurricane Ike. And believe me, it's already been a ferocious one, especially just looking at the wave action you can see behind me here. We are about to get our first significant rain band to come in. And with that rain band may come the first power outages of what is going to be a long and scary night for many that stayed on the island. Stick around. I'll give you a live report.
And down the coast here at Surfside Beach, the town is cut off this evening, Jim. There's the bridge, basically to nowhere at this point. We'll update what's going on there and how many people are left in town that are riding out the storm coming up.
Well, we're in storm alert here at the Weather Channel. I'm meteorologist Kim Perez.
And I'm meteorologist Kevin Robinson. And Kim, I was just reading over an email along with the severe weather we're going to get to. This was just a note. The Ball High School, I think that's on Galveston Island, is kind of the shelter of last resort.
Okay.
And now they're saying there won't be any volunteers there to help out, so to speak, but there will be at least food, water, and restrooms, and they're asking residents to bring pillows and blankets. About 150 are already in the shelter.
I think all we can do now is just offer our prayers for these folks who decide to stick this one out. All right, folks, you know, Jim Cantore is joining us now live here in Galveston, Texas. But, Jim, you know, well before landfall, people felt the effects of Ike. Now, what do you, kind of as far as winds, what are you feeling out there right now?
You know, Kimmy, I'm thinking 30, 35. I mean, you know, I'm a little protected here. Winds are starting to shift around, though, I can tell you that. They're definitely more out of a southeasterly direction than they were earlier today, which were more of a northeasterly direction. So that is a definite sign. And, of course, that has huge implications on what is to come, folks. You can see behind me here the Gulf of Mexico. And now that wind is coming with the wave action, it's going to allow the water just to continue to pile up. So definitely anticipate some big water coming in here as we go through the next several hours. As a matter of fact, don't be surprised, for the first time, certainly since 1900, since that seawall was built, that we actually breach it. Yes, this will be the biggest surge in the Galveston Island area since the hurricane of 1900, which is just amazing when you think about how much time has gone and how many storms they've dealt with here and the magnitude of those storms as well. Let's take a look at the satellite image. And one of the most amazing things I saw, guys, on the last recon report was the fact that we had a 60 nautical mile eye. That is phenomenal. I've never seen an eye that big. So, you know, granted, it isn't a perfect eye wall structure. It is more of a circulation center. But within that circulation center, we will have very, very foul weather. And it looks like a good bit of that will roll over the Houston metro area. And as I predicted last night, and will continue to stick with, this will be the worst wind damage in the city of Houston since Alicia in 1983, period. There's no question about it, even though it's a strong Cat 2. All right, let's take a look at the radar image, and you can see that band that is going to come in. With this band, we will have our first round of power outages. Because remember, with the bands, you'll have the stronger winds transported down toward the surface, and these winds usually are or have been, if you will, some 50 to 60 miles per hour in some of the gusts on some of the Seaman stations. Now, granted, those are 100 feet up. They're not down here at the surface. But even if we take, let's say, 70% of that, you've still got winds that could knock power out. And that's what we're going to see with that. The swath takes this thing in to Galveston Bay. Again, it's wide, so you can almost fit the entire city and beltways of Houston within the eye of the circulation center. I mean, amazing. And, of course, we're going to deal with the west end of it, then the south end of it, then the east end of it as we go on through what is going to be a long period of very, very strong winds encompassing some 13 million of you across eastern Texas, across much of Louisiana, including the areas that were nailed by Gustav. Yes, all my buddies down in Houma and New Iberia and Lafayette, you're going to get hit with the wind and the rain, and possibly those of you who have gotten power back on may very well lose it again. Let's take a look, guys, at what has been the most formidable force so far. That is the wave action. It continues to roll in across the seawall, built to be 17 feet high, but after time and sand has built up, I would say, after a pretty good run along it over the last couple of days, I would say it's about 10 feet high. So you've got water and waves on top of that. The latest tidal gauge is showing 9.2 feet at Galveston above mean tide. We haven't even gotten into the surge yet, so you can add that wave action with the surge, and we got a long night ahead of us. Water that could easily come right up this roadway that you're seeing behind me here. Let's go down towards Surfside, another area that's pretty much cut off. Mike Seidel, Surfside Beach. Mike, again, I heard you say you were going to move inland. Tell the viewers what it's like in Clute versus obviously being on the seacoast.
Well, obviously, here is not the place you want to be after the next couple of hours. We're on this side of the Intercoastal Bridge. Clute is 8 miles inland. Now, that makes a big deal. Obviously, the surge and the water is not going to go 8 miles inland, so it gets us out of the surge zone. And that's what we often tell you. If you're not in a surge zone, you don't need to evacuate. We saw what happened with Rita. The whole town of Houston went north towards Dallas up 35, and a lot of you. And sometimes we see that in Tampa, where if you're well above the surge zone, you just have to, just tie things down, stay inside, away from the windows, much like we tell you with a severe weather and a tornado, and protect yourself against the wind. Well, wind is going to be an issue in Clute. We're going to be showing you that all night, and tomorrow morning, Jim Gagne, our producer and photographer, and Brad Reynolds, our photographer, they're going to be out all night getting fresh video, bringing it in and showing it to you live on the Weather Channel, or showing it to you on the Weather Channel. So stick with us on that. Jim will be around too. But I want to show you the bridge here, and this water has taken out this road. It'll be interesting to see tomorrow morning when this water recedes how much damage we have to this road that goes over the bridge. There is one guy on the island, one resident, an older gentleman, who said he's not leaving. They tried to get him out a few hours ago. They were on boats. He said, no, I'm sticking around. We had a family earlier there. They were able to talk them from staying with their children on the island during this. Basically, almost a death wish. I wish that guy the best, but this is nothing to be fooling around with. When we were out there this morning, take a look. This is 10 o'clock this morning. The entire town was underwater, albeit everything is built up on stilts, this being a barrier island. Everything was underwater except the little intersection where we were parking our vehicles. And the wave action was already over the dune line. Remember, the dune line is like a berm, and that protects the property on the beaches. But the water was already over the dune line. We're getting 10 to 12 footers on top of a, 7, 8 foot water rise, and the water is only going to get higher. And you can see, there's the town, and everything is underwater. Everything is going to get hit hard. And the waves late this morning were already crashing to the first floor of some of the buildings right on the beach. We'll continue to see the water rise up this road. Nobody is getting in now, just the one guy over there hanging out. We hope he does okay. And what we're going to be watching tonight is the wind gradually backing around. That'll start to blow the water out sometime on Saturday morning. But after that, it's going to be interesting to see how bad this town gets hit by Ike. Kim and Kevin, back to you.
All right, thanks, Mike. Of course, we'll be checking back with you later on. And of course, folks here very concerned about Ike as it's getting very close now. As it gets dark, it's going to be even scarier for those of you in Houston, as you may lose power here later on. Let's talk about, as far as the bottom line, extremely dangerous despite being only a Cat 2. And again, folks, don't focus on that being a Cat 2. Just know that there's going to be power outages. There will be possibly deaths from this hurricane. And impacts are going to be severe, widespread, locally catastrophic. And landfall overnight, probably late tonight into the early morning hours, and conditions, of course, along the coast deteriorating rapidly before the center arrives. And the center comes in, and then we have to deal with the southern side of this system. All right, right now, though, we want to hand it over to Kevin, who has details on a different type of severe weather. We're concerned about tornadoes. We have tornado warnings out here in Kansas and also here in New Orleans area.
We sure do, Kim. We have a couple of tornado warnings for those of you into southwestern Louisiana. Speaking with our severe weather expert, Dr. Forbes, he mentioned that there's not a lot of instability for severe weather, just enough for a few out there. We haven't seen a lot of tornadoes today with the rain bands coming in, but we have had a few develop here just recently, a couple to the southeast of, say, Lake Charles, and then also to the southwest of Alexandria, Louisiana, a pair of tornado warnings. Remember, folks, these tornadoes will be wrapped in rain. You won't see them developing. Now, with a front that is going to team up with Ike, as we head into the weekend, we also have severe weather developing across the Kansas City metro area right now. Tornado watch out till 10 o'clock this evening, folks, and you can see some of these individual supercells. Watch this one just to the west of Sedalia. You can almost make out a hook here on our Titan radar. And then look at these nasty storms coming in from the south and west side on Kansas City here, coming up on the Kansas Turnpike. Folks, you need to watch out. Most of these storms do have warnings with them, and there was a brief report of a tornado touchdown with this particular tornado right here near Baldwin City. So this storm has had a history of producing a tornado. Here's the Kansas City metro area. If you're watching from Kansas City, these storms are coming in from your south and west, and this may not be the end, folks. We got severe weather tonight, and just a little bit downstate from you, down into the Ozarks, southern Kansas, southern Missouri, we could be watching a significant flood situation unfolding over the weekend. Stay with us.
There are songs that speak to our hearts and bring us hope. Time Life presents I Can Only Imagine, the greatest power anthems of the Christian faith.
I can only imagine when that
and now, the I Can Only Imagine collection is bigger and better than ever. Presenting I Can Only Imagine Platinum. 22 songs on 2 CDs.
Open the eyes of my heart, Lord.
Plus, you'll also get an exclusive bonus CD, including this special version of I Can Only Imagine.
Surrounded by your glory, one will my
Call now to get I Can Only Imagine Platinum. Now on 3 CDs for just $19.99. But wait. Call in the next 10 minutes with your credit card, and we'll cut the price to just $9.99. That's 3 CDs, 30 powerful Christian anthems for just $9.99. Then review other inspirational collections. Satisfaction guaranteed. So call now and get I Can Only Imagine Platinum on 3 CDs for just $9.99.
Call 1-800-852-0531 to order I Can Only Imagine Platinum for $9.99 plus shipping. Call in the next 10 minutes with your credit card to get a bonus CD. Or order online at timelife.com/I Can Only Imagine.
Galveston. Hurricane Ike is still over, 100 miles from the city. But again, that angry sea out there, and it's going to get worse, folks. We've already seen a water rise of up to 8 to 9 feet in some areas, and we could see it as high as 20 feet in some localized areas, too. So it's starting to get really bad out there now, folks. Tropical storm force winds now here in Galveston, and we're going to see hurricane force winds here the next couple of hours. But now, with more on what's happening here elsewhere around the U.S. and the threat for some severe weather, here's Kevin.
A front that's going to help spread the flooding across the center part of the nation this weekend is now triggering severe weather here in the Kansas City area. A tornado watch out till 10 o'clock this evening, and I want to get you in very close on a thunderstorm near Baldwin City. It's this particular cell here. Just got a report in of a tornado on the ground with debris actually in the air, folks. This is northeast of Baldwin City, so if you live north and east of Baldwin City, we'll zoom you in a little bit closer. Here's Baldwin City. Here's your particular cell. You can hear exactly what we talk about when we say a hook echo. Nice kidney bean shape to the storm. Supercell storm moving off towards the northeast very quickly, folks. So if you live northeast of Baldwin City, you need to get to the lowest level of your home and put as many walls between you and the outside winds as you possibly can. Again, there's been a confirmation from a sheriff of a tornado on the ground with debris in the air, and these storms are all moving up towards the northeast. So if you're in the Kansas City metro area, folks, many of these storms currently have tornado warnings on them. You need to keep a very watchful eye on changing weather conditions. We're in storm alert mode. Here at the Weather Channel, we'll have a lot more on.
When it comes to hurricanes, evacuation is a serious matter. But even the experts know leaving may not always be an option, especially if you find yourself in an undesirable spot. For example, high-rise buildings are often vulnerable.
Winds increase with height in a hurricane. So if it's a Category 2 at landfall in the low levels, it could be Category 3 at the top of that high-rise.
So it's vital to stay below the highest levels and above the first few floors of the building should any flooding occur.
The interior stairwell is oftentimes fairly safe.
The same principles apply if you need to ride out the storm at home. But what will be most dangerous is your home's location, not just its proximity to the coast, but also whether it's in a low-lying inland location prone to flooding.
Most people lose their lives not from the wind, but from inland freshwater flooding or from the surge along the coastline, or from wave action at the coast.
And lastly, what if you were to find yourself on the side of the road about to face down a hurricane in your car?
If your last resort is either in a car or out in the open air, we would recommend that you probably stay in the car and hunker down below the windows, where the car is probably not going to be blown anywhere if it's stationary and it's angled into the wind.
Remember, awareness now may save your life later.
See this and all of today's weather features at weather.com/TV.
This program was brought to you by the all-new redesigned Acura TSX. Acura. Advance.
Let the drama kick.
This isn't the soft kind of luxury. This is start a business, sell it, and then start another one luxury. This is advanced digital IV Tech luxury. It can find you an uncrowded highway or a crowded club. Introducing the Acura TSX. A new generation has arrived. Acura. Advance.
Now, see, when people think of Geico, right, they think of car insurance. And, of course, saving money. But sometimes that can lead even the savviest driver astray. Take, for example, the motorcycle owner. He calls Geico wanted to save money on his car insurance, only to realise that he doesn't actually own a car. Well, needless to say, he's quite embarrassed, isn't he? Doesn't matter. Geico insures motorcycles and ATVs as well. That way, no one ends up looking foolish.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Specialists are available 24 hours a day to get you back on the road quickly. Geico is here for you.
A big system means big waves and big surge.
As Ike targets Texas, stay with the Weather Channel.
You haven't evacuated. The time is now. You can still do it.
For the most up-to-the-minute information on Ike, keep watching the Weather Channel, your hurricane authority.
Ah, the peaceful and relaxing sounds of nature. If you're still using dial-up because you thought high-speed internet wasn't available where you live, think again. Think HughesNet. High-speed internet by satellite with the fastest speeds ever offered. Why settle for less? HughesNet uses advanced satellite technology, not your phone line. There's no dialing in, no tied-up phone lines, no missed calls, and no more waiting.
The key benefit for me is the speed.
This is so much faster for me than dial-up was.
It's freed up a lot of my time.
This is HughesNet. This is dial-up. If you're on dial-up, guess what? You're still waiting. Why settle for dial-up because of where you live? High speed is available today with HughesNet.
Get free standard installation when you order now. Call 1-800-622-0149 or visit 22hughesnet.com.
All new episodes of When Weather Changed History, premiering in October on the Weather Channel. Now, your local on the 8s.
Well, it's already happening, folks. Rescues going on. A U.S. Coast Guard rescue going on where a man was atop of what appears to be, he's standing on top of an oil tanker here in southeastern the coastline here. And so we've had reports of over 12 rescues so far, and the worst of it, of course, is yet to come. Now, our hurricane expert is tracking Ike's every move. Let's check in with Dr. Lyons for the newest development on Ike's move. And Steve, you know, we talk about the surge a lot of times, and we think of surge, we think along the coastline, but what happens with surge in a bay like Galveston Bay?
Well, it becomes very complicated, and it can become very high as well. And the reason it's complicated is because notice the circulation is spinning around in a counterclockwise fashion here as it comes on shore. So the winds first start out in one direction and then they end up in another direction. It sloshes the water around. Let me show you for what I mean. First of all, we expect some water rise of 15, maybe 20 feet locally, somewhere inside the bay probably, and inundation along the coastline. But now let's go inside Galveston Bay for a minute and see what's going to happen here. When we look inside the bay, basically what we see is one very interesting thing, okay? First of all, as the circulation is coming in, the winds are going to be out of the southeast. That's going to pile up water in the bay, and that's going to drive the water to the west side of the bay, toward the populated side of the bay here, where there's a large population here, including Baytown and many of the other locations down to League City and farther to the south. As the system goes to the north, the winds come around out of the west, and it takes that high water on the west side of the bay, and it shoves it back to the east. And so the southeast bay portions of the Galveston Bay will be flooded then. more than the west side, and also up in here. So first we'll see the water rise most on the west side of the bay, and as the system goes by, the water will slosh back to the east side of the bay. So two separate, the whole time all the water will be higher than normal, but worst on the west, then worst on the east as the circulation goes by. And that's going to be very complicated. We'll try to delineate what exactly is happening as that water starts rising in there. Right now it's rising everywhere about the same time because we're not seeing any significant winds there. But in addition to that, we're going to have a lot of wave action on the coast. Those waves will not go into the bay. They will stay offshore and on the coastline, and they'll break. And in the bay, we're just going to have some small waves of anywhere from 2 to 3 feet that are generated locally in the bay with some white capping on top of that surge in the bay. So the waves are primarily on the coast. Let's get back to Kevin now.
All right, thanks, Dr. Lyons. And now as we head towards our weekly planner, before we go there first, I want to show you Titan radar here, folks, because just giving you an idea of what we're dealing with here, some of these rain bands come on. They're now beginning to actually produce tornadoes. And watch this very little bitty cell that races across your screen. Produced a tornado, 10 to 15 homes damaged. And the Mamu area, this is in Evangeline Parish, I believe, in central Louisiana here. So that's what we're now beginning to see with some of these rain bands as they come on. In addition, if you live near New Iberia down towards Franklin, this is south and east of Lafayette, tornado warning out for these particular storms. They do not look like much, but they do have the ability to produce quick spin-up tornadoes. And as we just saw in the Mamu area, 10 to 15 homes damaged. Also, quickly before we go to the weekly planner, get to the Kansas City metro area. And this particular storm right here has had a history, and you can see the hook on this storm. Sheriff reported a tornado with debris actually in the air with this particular tornado here. So, folks, if you live up towards Linwood or Edwardsville, you need to get to the lowest level of your home here and put as many walls between you and the outside winds as you possibly can. There is a tornado watch out for those of you in Kansas City till 10 o'clock tonight. Watch these storms coming in now from your south and west, particularly this one north of Baldwin City. All right, let's get to your 7-day weekly planner because that front that's triggering the severe weather here in the Kansas City metro area is actually going to team up with Ike's moisture as it heads north. And we're talking about the potential for a dangerous and catastrophic widespread flood event here. Eastern Oklahoma, parts of northwestern Arkansas, and to southwestern Missouri, all of that with the moisture of Ike teaming up with that front. And you see this area in dark green? From St. Louis down the 44 corridor, that includes Joplin, Springfield, Branson, Missouri, right on back into Tulsa, Oklahoma, where we had 4 or 5 inches of rain overnight. The ground is saturated here, folks. This water will have nowhere to go, not to mention in the Ozarks. You have particularly hilly and mountainous terrain, so those creeks and streams are going to fill up very quickly with water. But now Ike's moisture will race through the Ohio River Valley Saturday night into Sunday, producing heavy rain right on into the northeast as this front by early next week, Monday into Tuesday, will actually sweep a lot of the moisture out of the nation. So for all the tropical moisture we'll have in place this weekend and the potential for heavy rain, come early next week we return to what's more typical in September, where a lot of us experience dry weather. September, one of the driest months of the year for a lot of people across the east. And by the time we get into early next week, that's exactly what the weather pattern will show, much drier weather conditions. Quick look at your temperatures here. We'll have cool air coming through the center part of the nation, but ahead of our front, it will be plenty warm this weekend where it's not raining. From Alabama up into the Carolinas, it will be sultry and steamy. Richmond, Charlotte, Raleigh, Durham, back to the Atlanta area. But look at the cool, crisp fall air with 50s and 60s all the way down into Oklahoma and northwestern Arkansas, folks. But it will be plenty hot as well in the west. So hot in the west, hot in the southeast, but cool across the Great Lakes and the Midwest. Kim?
Well, coming up, we're going to take you live to the upper coast of Texas. Our crews buckle down to bring you live coverage of areas right in the path of Ike. And for those of you inland in the Houston area, also in Liberty and Beaumont, now you're starting to feel the effects of Ike. The winds now picking up, sustained at 25 around the Houston metro area with higher gusts.
Ah, yes, the Geico Gecko in migration, driven by primal instinct to help people save hundreds of dollars on their car insurance.
Hey, do you see that guy over there? He's giving me the heebie-jeebies. Gotta be kidding me.
What a clever creature.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Specialists are available 24 hours a day to get you back on the road quickly. Geico is here for you.
My old allergy medicine made me feel foggy. Now I'm Claritin Clear.
Only Children's Claritin provides powerful, non-drowsy relief from his worst allergy symptoms. Discover Children's Claritin, the #1 pediatrician recommended brand, and let your kids live Claritin Clear.
Want whiter teeth? Not sure what to choose? Crest White Strips is the #1 dentist recommended brand. We use the same enamel safe ingredient dentists use. Satisfaction guaranteed. So what are you waiting for? The secret to a whiter smile is in the strip. Crest White Strips.
It's time to express yourself. It's time to love the way you live. The Home Depot can help you make a big statement on a small budget. It's time to steal the spotlight. It's time to own the room. The Home Depot. You can do it. We can help.
This hurricane season, Weather.com gives you more. Up-to-the-minute radar, forecast maps, and incredible video. And stay connected anytime, anywhere with the Weather Channel mobile. The Weather Channel is your hurricane authority.
Stay tuned for your local on the 8s, brought to you by Cabela's, the world's foremost outfitter of hunting, fishing, and outdoor gear.
Before you head out here, you want to know your gear has been tested, field tested, and proven. Field proven. Cabela's. Trust our gear. Head to Cabela's for top-of-the-line brands at bottom-line prices. With 3 ways to shop our legendary selection, count on Cabela's, world's foremost outfitter.
Cabela's, the world's foremost outfitters of hunting, fishing, and outdoor gear.
Coverage of Ike continues here on the Weather Channel. Now, your local on the 8s.
Hours away from what could be a catastrophic flood and surge event across parts of southeast Texas, including the Galveston Bay area. Welcome back. We're already seeing the wrath of Ike, and this is before it even touches land. And once landfall comes, things will only go downhill.
And we have live team coverage as the deadly hurricane gets closer to Galveston and then Houston. Now, Mike Seidel reporting here from Surfside Beach. And my question for you, you know, you've been showing that surge and talking about any estimate on how high the surge is there. Do we know for sure how high it is?
We don't know officially what it is here, but if you figure it's 9.5 feet in Galveston, it's got to be in that ballpark here. What I have noticed is the water has actually backed away from down the road. Notice that line of seaweed there. The water is backed up a little bit, but it's more forceful across the road as the wind comes in now more from the northeast than, say, east-northeast. But look what happens when the water goes around and over the asphalt. Then it causes a rapid sense, just like you were, you know, at Niagara Falls or you're on some river up in western North Carolina. In the background is the bridge over the Intercoastal to Surfside Beach. We were there earlier today, and the town was already basically underwater. Now, most everything is up on stilts because this is a barrier island like we see so much up and down the East Coast and even on the Gulf Coast, much like the Outer Banks. The water was under the houses, and then we were seeing these waves on top of the surge coming up under the houses and actually hitting the first floor. So these homes are in serious trouble, and it's going to be pretty interesting to see how bad the damage is here in Surfside Beach as we get the water back out. Once the storm goes by, we'll have an offshore flow, and that will push the water out to sea. But notice the water basically going from screen left to screen right. We've got some pretty hefty bands. Take a look at Titan radar right now, and our first squally bands are coming in. They're rotating down the coast. Remember, Galveston is another barrier island just about 40 miles north and northeast. Remember, the coast here is not directly north-south. So these bands are rotating in, and the circulation center seems to be heading somewhere between here and Galveston. Now, it's a wide center, about 60 miles, and we're going to have wind on it. The issue here, once you get away from the surge zone, is going to be a long, long night and Saturday morning of wind and power outages and even the risk of severe weather. Let's check out the wind forecast, and this is for Saturday afternoon around 4 o'clock. And notice that band, that darker shade of blue, including the Houston area, Galveston, College Station, Bryan, up towards Lufkin. Still, tomorrow afternoon, we could gust 40 to 60 miles an hour. And also, remember, along and to the right of the center, that threat for severe weather and tornadoes. Dr. Greg Forbes will be talking about that, and we'll obviously have additional tornado watches issued from the Storm Prediction Center. And then well inland, even Dallas, along that corridor, Dallas to Shreveport along I-20, expect gusts up to 40 miles an hour. There, it's going to be more of a severe weather threat. And then as the storm tomorrow night goes from a tropical depression down to a tropical storm down to a depression, the wind will be not a real factor, but severe weather and localized flooding will. But this is going to get picked up by a front, and we don't expect 20 to 30-inch rainfall totals like we had with Faye and Gustav. But again, just a sight that you don't often get to see live is how surge has cut off this town. Usually by this point, we are well inland because we have too much wind. But with this storm, the wind field is so broad that it's pushed the water up way ahead of the storm, and we're able to show you the surge live because we don't have to put our dish down. But Kim, this is it from here. We're going to higher ground. We need protection from the wind for our satellite truck so we can broadcast. We're going to come back at 9 Eastern on Evening Edition. We'll be on most of the night, if not all night, into Saturday morning, giving you updates and showing you what it looks like from Clute, Texas. That's a town about 8 miles inland, and there will be plenty of wind action there and more than likely wind damage and power outages.
Definitely starting about that time, Mike, you know, because we're already starting to see winds sustained at 30, 40 miles per hour already here around your area. So expect power outages probably the next several hours for some of these places. All right, thanks, Mike. You be safe out there. We'll see you at 9 o'clock. All right, current wind speeds, here they are. 43 mile per hour sustained wind in Galveston, higher gusts than that. So tropical storm force strength here already. And, you know, folks in Houston, not really, if you're not out at the beaches or around the bay, you haven't really seen too much of the effects of Ike. But now we're starting to see the winds pick up, getting a little ominous out there. You're starting to see the wind pick up and the trees blowing a little bit more. And again, power outages should probably, you know, by early this evening or later this evening, maybe start to occur as the stronger winds do push in. Now, the current water rise, Mike talked about around his area possibly up to 9 feet. And this is what we've seen so far. Calcasieu Pass here, over 9 feet, that water rise here. So even Louisiana, we talked about the impacts of this being felt way far away from the center, and that's been around Louisiana, even the threat for tornadoes, and even tornadoes reported on the ground here in southeastern Louisiana. Maximum water rise, 15 to 20 feet. Now you add on top of that the wave height, possibly up to 20 feet, and we're talking about at times maybe the size of a 4-story building That's what we're looking at coming into some of these localized areas that are very surge prone. So that's why there's going to be devastation and catastrophic devastation in some of these areas around the bay. Now the path off towards the west-northwest. Again, the center moving across Houston. And really, this thing really not showing signs of an eye per se, where you're going to see calm winds with this as it passes by. Winds are going to be gusty probably the whole time with this as it comes through, and the heavy rain with it as well. So again, be prepared for power outages, possibly in some areas, maybe for weeks. Now Dallas, we can't rule you out either. This is going to come very close to you tomorrow. So hopefully you're ready for this and ready for maybe some small trees coming down. Hopefully you've cleared all the dead trees away. As this moves by, we're going to see those winds picking up tomorrow. It's going to be a miserable day for some of us. Now, what's it going to come in as? Well, right now it's Category 2. Now, it looks like it's trying to get its act together. So we're not ruling out the possibility this could be possibly be a Category 3 at landfall. But I want you to know there's really not much difference between a low-end 3 and a high 2. So don't really focus on that. Just know we're going to see devastation in some areas, and we're going to see a lot of damage, maybe tree damage around the Houston metro area as well. All right, that's it on Ike. Now we want to update you on severe weather around the country and what happens with Ike after this. Kevin?
That's right, Kim. But before we get there, let's go to the bottom line, and we'll talk about what's going to happen with that flooding, because, good point, it is going to be at least the potential for some catastrophic flooding in the center part of the nation. With Ike, though, it is extremely large and dangerous. Folks, we are embarking on what is going to be a very, very scary night across much of southeastern Texas, particularly when you listen to the sound of the winds and the sound of the trees tonight, folks. Again, quite scary. Get your candles ready. Hopefully you have some cash on hand, some non-perishable foods. As Kim mentioned, we could see areas without power for weeks now across this region once you bring down the trees onto power lines. Again, we're talking about 6 to 10 hours in the Houston area of hurricane-force winds, folks. Again, quite a sight, I think, tomorrow morning when you wake up across the area. Of course, we'll continue to keep you up to date on what's going on with Ike. And what about the recipe for flooding? We've talked a lot about flooding, right? Well, not only are we talking about the potential for flooding in Texas with Ike, but how about as that moisture gets drawn out across the center part of the nation, particularly eastern Oklahoma, western Arkansas, into southwestern Missouri here. You add in the fact we had Lowell and some of its tropical moisture come up across the region today, dumping anywhere between 2 to as much as, I think, 6, 7 inches of rain in some areas. Now you add in the remnants of Ike, and you get the squeeze play with this front helping to wring out all that tropical moisture. Again, we're not just talking about, you know, your typical rain, so to speak. This is tropical moisture, so we're talking about efficient rainfall rates where we could very well see some widespread flooding. And then thankfully, it's going to race on up into the Ohio River Valley into New England. I guess the silver lining is this system won't stick around for several days. But with that said, it's going to be bad enough. So here's a look at that heavy rain outlook, and I want you to follow the legend here, because in the dark green represents areas where we could see generally 6+ inches of rainfall, but within some of these corridors, we could find 8 inches, like around the St. Louis area, down that Interstate 44 corridor. Tomorrow going to be a very rough day in central and southern sections of the Show Me State. I do anticipate some significant flooding down into the Ozarks. And then, of course, in eastern Texas, someone's bound to pick up a foot or more of rainfall with Ike as it comes in addition to any other severe weather aspects as far as tornadoes, which we're now seeing across parts of Louisiana and even into parts of Kansas. We've seen some severe weather this evening. I want to show you here, you can see how all the ingredients are coming into play. Here's our front in the center part of the nation. There's Ike. All of this moisture, at least most of it, in association with Lowell. Now, as this front is dropping through the Kansas City area, we've had reports of tornadoes. There is a tornado watch out for those of you in Kansas City till 10 o'clock this evening. Watch these individual storms, although they seem to be trying to form a squall line. But until that happens, we need to watch the individual supercells there. They're capable of producing tornadoes. Kim, there was a report of a tornado on the ground about 6 miles northeast of Baldwin about 20 minutes ago.
And we're going to see that threat possibly in East Texas tomorrow. Our coverage of Hurricane Ike continues. We'll talk about the rain that's going to be hitting cities well inland as Ike makes landfall.
Here at this modern-day watering hole, this urban Serengeti, it's man meets reptile.
So, Lucy, what are you doing?
Just a little online shopping.
You should check out Geico.com, get a free rate quote. If you like what you see, you can buy it online, over the phone, or at your local Geico office.
Cool.
Remarkable. Oh, no. Help! Did you hear something?
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Specialists are available 24 hours a day to get you back on the road quickly. Geico is here for you.
Using a flat iron with a cord is such a frustrating chore, and your hair can be ruined for the day when you walk out the door. Not anymore. Sharper Image took a flat iron and engineered the compact, cordless, rechargeable Les Minx. The cordless Les Minx flat iron lets you style and repair your hair any place, anywhere. You'll never have a bad hair day again. The lithium iron battery holds the charge up to 5 days. Plus, its ceramic tourmaline plates generate negative ions for frizz-free, shiny hair for celebrity style and shine. And just like professional flat irons, Les Minx has 3 temperature settings, perfect for color-treated hair, normal hair, even coarse curly hair. Plus, the quality ionic tourmaline plates also lock in the moisture, leaving the hair smooth, silky, and shiny. Just look at the difference. Les Minx works on short or long hair. The cordless styling makes it super easy. Amazing! Les Minx compact and cordless design makes it perfect for touch-ups anywhere. You can even completely restyle your hair without the hassle of a cord and outlet. You'll always look your best. Now you can repair your hair right in the car. Last minute meeting or date? The freedom of the cordless Les Minx lets you style your hair anytime, anywhere, so you always look great.
The Les Minx cordless hair iron lets me do beautiful hair anywhere, anytime. The tourmaline ceramic plates leave the hair incredibly shiny.
Professional style irons can cost a fortune. Call now and try the Sharper Image Les Minx with charging base for only $14.95 during this TV-only 30-day trial offer. Plus, you'll get the convenient carry case and the car adapter for a quick fix on the go. Call right now and try the Sharper Image Les Minx with charging base, the AC adapter, the car adapter, and the case for only $14.95. And you'll always have the perfect hair anytime, anywhere. Order now.
To order your Les Minx by Sharper Image and receive a 30-day trial for only $14.95. Have your credit card ready and call 1-800-605-9400. That's 1-800-605-9400.
We want to take you traveling now. First of all, talk about the evacuation routes, and hopefully folks sitting tight at this point. Conditions now really beginning to go downhill along the coast and also interior sections around the Houston area. We're seeing winds gusting over 30 miles per hour. But again, Interstate 37 was one of those routes, and heading over towards Corpus Christi, over here towards San Antonio. Again, conditions here not that bad. So we're going to be looking at that threat continuing here across parts of Texas, and then we're going to, let's go ahead and over to Titan, please, if we could, and show you where we have some of that severe weather. Titan 2. All right, we have severe weather threatening folks here in Louisiana, and we're seeing, of course, the tornado threat here outlined in red. There is the circulation center, the eye, if you will, here of this hurricane, and already the very outer edges, very strong band of rain now skirting right along the coast and coming in very close now to the Houston metro area at this time. So hopefully you're hunkered down, folks, and not leaving yet. If you're thinking about now to run out and get, you know, snacks, supplies, I don't think I'd do it at this point. So we're going to watch this. Again, move closer to Houston. Plus, we're watching a front coming in from the north. And so the two together really going to cause problems for folks for traveling here the next couple of days. We've had reports of a lot of rescues here around Wichita, Kansas earlier because of 6-7 inches of rainfall. For the Northeast, the rain coming down, causing some problems for traveling here. Some rain around New York City and Boston. However, it is light. The heaviest rain does seem to be here for folks over in farther west through the Ohio Valley and over here into the Midwest as well. So traveling out there on 80, it's a wet commute for you. Around Kansas City, it's a tornado threat for you. And we've had off and on tornado reports here, or warnings coming in here with this watch. So please be careful, folks. Take cover to the lowest level of your room, interior room, if you're under a tornado warning. We'll have more on Ike coming up right after this.
Once the hurricane is past, the danger may have only begun. Subsequent freshwater flooding from rains, rising rivers, and rising streams can become deadly. Before you head home, make sure that authorities have declared your neighborhood safe and that someone knows your route, departure time, and car details. If you stayed home, watch for exposed and live electric power lines, gas leaks, and fallen debris. Because roads may be damaged or flooded, hazards like debris, sinkholes, and especially fallen power lines pose a serious threat.
When a power line falls, initially the current that is running through the line will permeate and continue to run through whatever that line is touching, whether it's a fence, a tree, or the ground. It's essential to always assume that a down power line is energized, and it's best for you to stay away and contact your local utility company for repair.
And be careful, because electricity can travel significant distances in water, especially salt water. You can still be vulnerable to fallen lines when you are in your car.
If you drive over a down power line, just keep driving. If your car's engine fails or stops, just stay put and wait for rescue to help you. Have others that come up to your vehicle, warn them away, and have them call 911.
Remember, awareness now may save your life later.
See this and all of today's weather features at weather.com/TV.
This program was brought to you by the all-new redesigned Acura TSX. Acura. Advance.
Sometimes luxury needs to howl at the moon. Find a rare grass-fed steak in a red leather booth and invite all its friends. This is 5.1 surround sound luxury. Luxury. Advanced. The all-new, totally redesigned Acura TSX. A new generation has arrived. Acura. Advance.
This hurricane season, weather.com gives you more up-to-the-minute radar, forecast maps, and incredible video. And stay connected anytime, anywhere with the Weather Channel mobile. The Weather Channel is your hurricane authority.
This is the AARP Medicare Supplement Insurance Plan card. You know what's great about this card? Wherever you go, nationwide, your coverage travels with you. And that's just one of the many reasons you need the card you can trust. Because with AARP Medicare Supplement Insurance Plans, you can apply year-round, talk with personal health insurance advisors, and so much more. If you're turning 65 or older, or you've already enrolled in a Medicare supplement plan, call for this free information kit and Medicare guide. These are the only Medicare supplement insurance plans exclusively endorsed by AARP. These plans, insured by United Healthcare Insurance Company, help cover some of your medical expenses not covered by Medicare alone. This could save you thousands of dollars. Want your choice of doctors or hospitals, virtually no claim forms, and no referrals needed to see a specialist? Call for your free kit. Yep, this is one great card.
All new episodes of When Weather Changed History, premiering in October on the Weather Channel. Now, your local on the 8s.
Of course, the big story here tonight is Ike, but we want to keep those of you up to date in the Kansas City metro area. A number of reports of tornadoes south and west of Kansas City, folks. These storms are not Doppler radar indicated. We have confirmed reports of tornadoes on the ground. There has been damage northeast of Baldwin City. Folks, there's also been damage in and around the Bonner Springs area as well. Watch these storms. A little wave of low pressure developing along our front. Tornado watch out till 10 o'clock. And if you note, these are individual cells here that we're watching, and from a radar standpoint, they sure do look impressive, because I've seen hook echoes on a number of these storms. Watch this storm going south and east now of Overland Park, the southeast side of Kansas City. That storm there, tornado warning on that. This particular storm here just west of Kansas City, coming towards the Edwardsville area. This is the one that produced a tornado near the Bonner Springs community, and this particular storm right here is the one in which a deputy reported debris in the air, folks, from a tornado, again, just northeast of Baldwin City. We also have additional tornadic producing thunderstorms over into central sections of Missouri, right here near the Sedalia area. This particularly nasty looking storm. Again, and when we talk about a hook echo on radar, this is exactly what we're talking about. Note the little appendage here just north of Sedalia. This storm is coming up on Interstate 70. So if you live just to the northeast of Sedalia, near Interstate 70, you need to abandon. If you live in a mobile home, get out. You need to get to the lowest level of your home and make sure you put as many walls between you and the outside winds as possible, folks. Again, this is just part of a front that eventually is going to team up with Ike to produce some widespread flooding possibly across southern Kansas, south central Missouri, that Interstate 44 corridor tomorrow. All right, here's the Baldwin City community. Here's the storm that I'm warning about for the particular tornado now. This is going to be heading off towards the north and east. So if you live north and east of Gardner, you need to watch this storm very, very closely here. And again, you can almost see somewhat of a hook-shaped signature on this particular storm. Keep an eye on that as it continues to race its way off towards the north and east. I don't want to forget those of you here in Louisiana, because we had a tornado in Mamu which damaged 10 to 15 homes about 45 minutes ago, folks. And these storms, they don't look like much on radar, but these are tropical storms. So, therefore, you probably won't have a lot of thunder and lightning with these, if at all, and they'll certainly be wrapped in rain. So, again, watch out here across the Leesville area, just to your north, coming up on Manny. This particular cell warned for a possible tornado, and this is the one that damaged 10 to 15 homes back in Evangeline Parish. Kim?
Well, there's more to a hurricane than meets the eye, especially when you're talking about the eye. A few eye-openers are in tonight's Hurricane Minute.
A hurricane can have an eye, even if you can't see it on satellite.
That's because there can be just a veil of cirrus that covers the top of the eye of the hurricane so you can't see underneath it. We can see that now very easily with microwave imagery, so it can't fool us anymore.
Also, the size of the eye doesn't necessarily correspond to the strength of the winds around it.
The thing we can say is a very large eye of a hurricane is more damaging to the coast because more of the coast feels the strongest winds in a hurricane. The other interesting thing is if you have an eye that is contracting, getting smaller with time, sometimes that's related to strengthening of the hurricane, as it sort of tends to wind up much like an ice skater with their arms out. When they pull their arms in, they spin faster.
This is called an eye wall replacement cycle.
All right, 10 till the hour. It's time for that tropical update now. Dr. Lyons joins us.
And Dr. Lyons, it's going to be a very scary night for a lot of folks, not only in Galveston, but on in towards Houston as well. What's the very latest?
Well, the latest is we still have a hurricane, and it's coming shoreward, and it should be on shore probably early tomorrow morning. You can see the circulation center there. Right now, the official wind's 105 miles per hour, which makes it a fairly hefty Category 2 hurricane, moving northwest at 12, and that motion is expected to continue over the next 12 to 24 hours, then it turned more toward the north with time after that. And that turn to the north is associated with its trough axis is off here to the west. It's going to deflect it. Now, the good news here is we haven't seen any significant pressure drops, and it's getting very close to the coast, so the chance for strengthening is diminishing with time, which is good news, but we don't see any weakening with it either at the same time. So our projected path takes it up here, and along this track is where we're going to see most of the impacts, including rain and strong winds, and into the west of the circulation will be less. Into the east of the circulation will be more impact for wind and for the surge on the coastline. Now, if we look at these storm winds here, you can see there's one good thing about this as they come on shore. Notice we've cut these tropical storm force winds at the coastline because we're not seeing them on shore. So those are no longer available to generate waves over here. And so as the circulation comes in, the wave action starts to drop away a little bit. So we're going to see the maximum waves come in and then very quickly drop away as the circulation nears the coastline. And there's a circulation center there on radar. You can see that first band up here is the tropical storm winds just edging to the coast ever so slightly. Of course, we've got that tornado watch box up there and some tornado warnings mixed within that. And then the circulation portion that's so dangerous on the coast is this band of strong winds on the south side. The danger with this one is those strong winds are wide. The strong wind radii are about 30 to 35 miles. So that makes it about a 70 to 75 mile wide swath of wind damage potential, and that's where we think there's going to be sort of a broad area of damaging winds that are going to cause a wide swath of power outages across the greater Houston area and then on up the coast. Obviously, the biggest threat is right on the coast where the winds are strongest, and they'll diminish inland. But even in the Houston area, and these are sustained winds we're talking about, the gusts will be higher in the rain bands. So if you see a rain band coming, expect stronger winds. On the coast, we could see some coastal damage, and that could include windows blowing out and damage to roofs. Back to you guys.
All right, thank you, Dr. Lyons. We also have severe weather in the form of tornadoes to update you on.
That's right. A number of reports of tornadoes, not only Doppler radar indicated, but on the ground, folks. Watch that storm near the 435 loop there, southeast of Overland Park. And again, watch the particular storm west of Kansas City, between Kansas City and Bonner Springs. There has been reports of damage with this particular tornado. Tornado watch out till 10 o'clock for the KC Metro.
Our live coverage continues. Abrams and Bettis joining us next, right after this.
This program was brought to you by Geico.
Here at this modern-day watering hole, this urban Serengeti, it's man meets reptile.
So, Lucy, what are you doing?
Just a little online shopping.
You should check out Geico.com, get a free rate quote. If you like what you see, you can buy it online, over the phone, or at your local Geico office.
Cool.
Remarkable. Oh, no. Did you hear something?
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Hi, I'm Erin Brockovich. I've seen the harm big corporations can do. Workers who built this country and were exposed to asbestos, now suffering with mesothelioma and lung cancer. Whites in Luxembourg has been a leader in asbestos litigation for over 20 years. I've worked with them and I trust them. They've won billions of dollars in settlements for their clients. If you're an asbestos victim, please give them a call.
Whites in Luxembourg, 1-888-411-LAWS.
Conditions going downhill for the next 7 to 12 hours.
As Ike targets Texas, stay with the Weather Channel.
There is going to be a tremendous amount of damage.
For the most up-to-the-minute information on Ike, keep watching the Weather Channel, your hurricane authority.
The Weather Channel is brought to you by this cable or satellite provider. You can also get reliable forecasts from the Weather Channel through this radio station.
All new episodes of When Weather Changed History, premiering in October on the Weather Channel. Now, your local on the 8s.
You're watching the Weather Channel, your hurricane authority.
An estimated 13 million people in 132 counties along the Gulf Coast
could feel hurricane or tropical storm force conditions. Some are already being rescued by the Coast Guard, and we are still hours from Hurricane Ike making landfall. Welcome into a special storm alert edition of Abrams and Bettis Beyond the Forecast. I'm meteorologist Stephanie Abrams live in Galveston Island, Texas. The waves have been crashing over the seawall all day long. How much higher will the water go? I'll let you know coming up.
And I'm Mike Bettis. We are live tonight in Houston, Texas, where 5.5 million of those 13 million people live. This will easily be the worst night of weather Houston has had in years, maybe even decades. If you go back to Hurricane Alicia 25 years ago, Stephanie, the water is rising rapidly. I'm going to show it to you coming up and show you how Texans that live in the Houston area could be in grave danger tonight.
Good evening, Mike, and good evening to you. It's not only Mike Bettis and myself. We have a team of meteorologists helping us out and reporters. We have Jorma Duran, who's north of here in Port Arthur, Texas. He'll be giving us live reports throughout Abrams and Bettis. And Carl Parker, meteorologist Carl Parker, is helping us out in studio to give you the weather that's happening around the rest of the country. But let's start with Ike. Let's give you the latest on Hurricane Ike. Behind me, the waves have been crashing over the seawall all day today. Our waves heights have been pushing about 20 feet. They could get as high as 32 feet. When those waves crash over the wall, it dwarfs people that are standing there and absolutely makes me nervous because that water can sweep you right off of your feet. And all of the water and the waves crashing over has covered the roads here throughout Galveston Island. There's been significant flooding where we don't have that seawall because it only protects a third of the island here on the Gulf Coast side. South of here towards Jamaica Beach, we have seen some significant flooding. So what's the latest here with Hurricane Ike? We just got a new advisory, and as a matter of fact, it is now moving west-northwest at 13 miles an hour, so it's picked up speed a bit from the last advisory that we got, and the winds are stronger. Winds are currently at 110 miles an hour. That makes it still a Category 2 hurricane, but it is nearing a Category 3. Category 2 winds go from 96 to 110. So there is a potential this could reach a Category 3, but the closer it gets to landfall, the harder it is for that to happen. And they actually up the winds in increments of 5. So if they were to up this, it would be a Category 3 hurricane. Those hurricane force winds extend out 120 miles. The tropical storm force winds extend out 275 miles. And the bulk of the rain has been on the east side of this system. This is the first rain that we've been getting from Hurricane Ike. So let's show you that radar, because that eye and that eye wall are starting to show up on this radar. And that symbol in the middle, that's a hurricane symbol. That's not just a random dot we threw up on our radar. If it was a tropical storm, then the inside part of that would be cleared out. But that indicates a hurricane that's spinning towards the coast. And right in the center, where you don't see any rain, that is the eye. Typically in the eye, that is the calmest part of the hurricane. The eye wall, those rain bands circling that clear area, that's the eye wall. That is where you're going to have the strongest winds, and we anticipate that as this is headed right towards Galveston Island. Now, as we look at our tornado watch, because there is a threat for tornadoes, there's a tornado watch until 10 p.m., mainly into southwestern Louisiana. So that's something, especially since this is coming in at night, you have to pay attention to. If you're headed to bed, make sure this way you can be woken up if a tornado warning is threatening your county. Let's talk about where this is headed to now. It does look like we'll have landfall overnight tonight into early Saturday morning. It's going to move quickly off to the north and then get picked up by a trough and head to the northeast, and it will be absorbed by a front within the next 2 to 3 days. But you know what, Dallas, you are in that swath as well as Shreveport, and I know we all focus in on where it makes landfall, but I just told you hurricane winds and tropical storm force winds extend 100 to 200 miles respectively out from the center. So yes, where it makes landfall in that eye wall, you have the worst winds, but you could experience those hurricane force winds well out from the center. Now, I was talking about is a Category 2 nearing a Category 3 and getting closer and closer to the coast. Category 3 winds 111 to 130 miles an hour. Here's the thing. We have seen hurricanes rapidly intensify right before landfall. I believe it was Umberto that did this in 2007. I mean, like 15 minutes before it made landfall, it intensifies. So that's something that can happen. You have to be aware of, but they can also fall apart right before landfall. We don't anticipate this to be weakening, potentially Category 2, Category 3 at landfall. Let's head up to the Houston area where my partner Mike Bettis has been throughout the day. And Mike, I found out 40% of the people stayed on the island to ride out this storm. One of the gentlemen I spoke to said he has an axe and a sledgehammer in his attic.
Yeah, that is absolutely amazing. They may actually get some use out of that. We hope not, but the water rise is going to be a huge concern for you. I want to give you a lay of the land of where we are and show you what's happened here in the last couple of hours. Earlier today, just this afternoon, down there is where we were broadcasting. We are on Nassau Bay, which is fed by Galveston Bay. The water has come up actually very, very quickly. We've got another 1.5 to 2 feet of surge that's come our way. The docks out there, they're being overrun. I want you to take a look just straight down here and notice where we've had to evacuate to. We've had to go up. So we're in a parking garage. We're on the top deck of a parking garage right now, and there's the water lashing up against the bottom of the parking garage. We've got maybe another 12 feet or so before potentially we're underwater here, so that may be about all we can take here right in Clear Lake, which is the southeast section of Houston. But surge is going to be a huge problem. Flooding is going to be tremendous, we think, here across the Houston metro area. Flooding has been ongoing throughout the day today, no question about that. People have been basically riding their bikes through it, trying to drive their cars through it. The worst thing you could do, folks, is try to drive now on flooded roadways. If you haven't made it to an evacuation shelter now, friend or family's place, at this point, the best thing you can do is just shelter where you are and try to ride it out where you are. Especially driving at night through high water is extremely dangerous, and you risk your life if you do that. Surge is something we've been talking about for the past couple of days because this is an area so surge prone. How much are we going to see here? We think it could be absolutely tremendous. 15 to 20 feet of storm surge is likely in the Galveston area and up through Galveston Bay as well. And that is what feeds Nassau Bay here. So we could likely see similar water rise here. And as it's alluding to where we are, we've only got another 12 feet to go. We've probably seen about 4 come up. So if we go to 16, we might be underwater. The Louisiana coast, 8 to 14 feet of storm surge. So it's not going to be just Texas. We've already seen tremendous flooding along the Louisiana coast and the parishes there. So that's going to be a huge concern in Louisiana as well. But the water rise throughout the day today has been quite impressive in so many places. I want to show you some of the water rise numbers because I think they're going to blow your mind this early in the game. Galveston, close to 7 feet, over 7 feet of water rise so far. Places like Port O'Connor, 3. Sabine Pass, close to 7 right now. The Freshwater Canal, 9+ feet of water rise so far, and Ike has not even made landfall yet. We're going to see those water levels come up, and again, flooding is going to be the result of a lot of that. And if there are any buildings or structures in harm's way, we're going to see waves on top of that that could take out some buildings. Obviously, Ike is a huge system. It's intensifying. We've got winds that are now up to 110 miles per hour. It takes up a good chunk of the Gulf of Mexico. The wind swirling around that in that counterclockwise fashion. As that eye pushes closer toward land, we're going to see some significant damage from wind as well. So hurricane warnings posted up and down the coast, and we are going to see Ike make landfall overnight tonight after sunsets. It's going to be very difficult, especially when you consider some of those winds where Galveston right now is at 45 miles an hour, Baytown at 33. That's just north of where we are. In High Island right now, a 36 mile per hour wind, so they're ramping up. Likely those numbers are going to double probably before all is said and done here. Ike, huge storm system. Let me give you some comparison if you need to get some reference as to how big Ike is. Let's take it back to Katrina and give you a comparison here. The tropical storm force winds for Ike extend out 275 miles. The hurricane force winds extend out 120. The hurricane force winds in Katrina, 125, very similar, but Ike has a larger tropical storm wind field, because Katrina was just 230. So this is actually a little bit bigger. It's going to be very, very difficult to navigate in those kind of winds. And Carl, one thing we're likely to see is tremendous power outages as well. CenterPoint Energy is now thinking that more than 1 million customers could be without power because of the tremendous wind field that is associated with Hurricane Ike.
It is going to be a very long night there in East Texas and Louisiana. And even beyond tonight and tomorrow, we will see flooding concerns all the way into the middle of the country as Ike interacts with a front that is not moving. Already we've seen 10 inches of rain in parts of Kansas and much more to come. We've got our coverage continuing.
This program was brought to you by Geico.
Ah, yes, the Geico Gecko in migration. Driven by primal instinct to help people save hundreds of dollars on their car insurance.
Hey, do you see that guy over there? He's giving me the heebie-jeebies. Gotta be kidding me.
What a clever creature.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
In a world overwhelmed by high gas prices, come 4 heroes. Armed with Myvec technology from Mitsubishi, Lancer, Galant, Eclipse, Outlander. They are the Phenomenal 4. All equipped with Mitsubishi's 4-cylinder Myvec engine, giving you fuel efficiency without sacrificing performance. 4 cars, 4 cylinders, 0 compromises. Visit your Mitsubishi dealer today.
Glade.
Hello?
Hi, what are you doing?
I'm at the spa.
Sounds fantastic.
It is. They have these candles that fill the whole room with the fresh scent of jasmine, vanilla, rose.
Honey? Who's that?
My aromatherapist. Gotta go.
Experience boutique quality fragrances infused with essential oils. New Glade Angel Whispers.
It's new, and yes, it's Glade.
S.C. Johnson, a family company. It's time to express yourself. It's time to love the way you live. The Home Depot can help you make a big statement on a small budget. It's time to steal the spotlight. It's time to own the room. The Home Depot. You can do it. We can help.
Welcome back into a special storm alert edition of Abrams and Bettis Beyond the Forecast on the Weather Channel. I want to bring in our hurricane expert, who just so happens to also be a wave expert, and that is Dr. Steve Lyons. Dr. Lyons, we're on Galveston Island. We've been here through the day. I want you to check out our waves here and get a good look at them. I know you can eye it actually from the studio, as a matter of fact. How high are those waves, and how much higher do you anticipate them to be going?
It looks like right there they're running about 10 to 15 feet. Inside there, they're a little bit smaller, but out beyond they're about 10 to 15 feet. Some of the breakers are even higher than that, farther out, and you can see some of this backwash hitting the seawall and going backwards. Notice how discolored the water is. It's churning up the bottom, making it deeper. And so when the surge comes in, the waves on top of that surge are going to be that much more deadly when they and dangerous when they come in. And when this water rises, the wave action is going to reach 20 to 25 feet, maybe even 30 feet. Right now, it's looking very soupy. What's happened basically is the waves have been coming in from the southeast. They're going to come in from the south, and when that happens, they're going to be much higher, Stephanie.
Dr. Lyons, is this typical of a Category 2 hurricane, or are we just seeing this because of the sheer size of Ike?
The sheer size, Stephanie. Usually in big hurricanes, what we see is a large area for the waves to grow, and when that happens, we can get, even in a Category 1 hurricane, very large waves. As comparison, a Category 4 hurricane sometimes only has waves of 15 feet if it's a real small one. So the strength of the wind is not the controlling factor, it's the size of the wind field, and of course the strength doesn't hurt either.
Dr. Lyons, I certainly appreciate it. I want to bring in my partner, Mike Bettison. Mike, maybe you can give the viewers a little description of where you are. You're on an inlet on Galveston Bay, is that correct?
That's absolutely correct. We're on Nassau Bay, and Galveston Bay feeds into this area. And Dr. Lyons, let's talk about what we could get here. We're a little bit more protected than where Stephanie is because she's completely exposed to the Gulf of Mexico. But we've actually had some significant rise, I'd say about 4.5 to 5 feet since we came here yesterday. What do you see here, and how much higher do you think this could go?
Okay, what typically happens in the bay, Mike, is that the water slowly fills up the bay, almost like sort of turning on the faucet in a bathtub. And that's what's happening now. We're seeing water rises about 4 or 5 feet, and that little wave action, you're not going to get much wave action in the bay. But as those winds come out of the south at the coast, they're going to fill up the bay in a hurry, and this is going to lift. And then the winds are going to become very strong in the bay, and they're going to slosh this water around. And the first thing we're going to see is the water slosh to the west side of the bay as the winds come in out of the south and southeast. And then as the circulation goes by and the bay is filled up with about 10 or 15 feet of water, all that water is going to be pushed to the east side of the bay as the winds come out of the west. So it's going to slosh around first to the west side of the bay, then to the east side, and a local nook or cranny on the east side of the bay could reach 20 to 22 feet in elevation. So a lot of these areas you see right now are going to be basically underwater at high tide and at the peak of the surge later tonight and early tomorrow morning, Mike.
Dr. Lyons, I want to show you something I think is absolutely amazing. Tell me how dangerous this is. We've actually got somebody down there in the water. I mean, how dangerous is that to be down in that water? How quickly could that come up?
It's never safe to be in the water, especially where there are big waves, but sometimes you can get a slosh inside the bay that can come up very, very quickly, Mike. And so you don't want to be anywhere around the water area. Stay on higher ground at all times, especially where there are waves, because waves can come up. We have wave run up, and that can come up very quickly and back down the beach and sweep people into the water, Mike.
And Dr. Lyons, you were mentioning we're a little bit sheltered here on the bay, so probably not going to see a lot in the way of waves, right?
Not much in the way of waves, but the flooding is tremendous, and of course there are a lot of houses along the way.
All right, Dr. Lyons, great stuff. We're going to be right back here on Abrams and Bettis. We'll take you live to Port Arthur with our Jorma Duran. Stick around.
Now, see, when people think of Geico, right, they think of car insurance. And, of course, saving money. But sometimes that can lead even the savviest driver astray. Take, for example, the motorcycle owner. He calls Geico wanted to save money on his car insurance, only to realise that he doesn't actually own a car. Well, needless to say, he's quite embarrassed, doesn't he? Doesn't matter. Geico insures motorcycles and ATVs as well. That way, no one ends up looking foolish.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Some things just get better over time. And if you're a homeowner age 62 years or older, a reverse mortgage could make this the best time of your life. Hi, I'm Robert Wagner for the Senior Lending Network. A reverse mortgage is a government-insured loan that allows homeowners 62 and over to access the equity in their homes without making any monthly loan payments. I know it sounds too good to be true, and I'm sure you have a lot of questions. That's why the Senior Lending Network created this free educational video. It'll tell you all about government regulations, insurances and safeguards, costs and fees associated with reverse mortgage, estate planning and inheritance issues, and much, much more. So if you're a homeowner, 62 years or older, let me send you your free video right now. It really could make this the best time of your life.
Call 1-800-503-3492 for your free reverse mortgage video and information kit. That's 1-800-503-3492.
Closed captioning hours on the Weather Channel brought to you by Renew-N, the only supplement for joint care and energy.
Renew-N, the only intensive release bilayer tablet for joint care and energy. Layer 1 works to improve joint comfort and mobility. Layer 2 helps boost your energy. Renew-N, healthy joints, active life.
Wow, I did the math and lost 83 pounds on Nutrisystem.
I did the math and I lost 3 sizes. Look at me. I got great nutrition every day. I lost weight. And it was less than $3 a meal.
Start Nutrisystem today. It's the last month to get our special lock-in offer. Get a month's worth of breakfast, lunches, dinners, and desserts for less than $3 a meal.
Less than $3 a meal? You can't beat that. Great nutrition and you lose weight.
Tired of your grocery prices going up and up? Lock in your price guaranteed for all of 2008. This incredible limited time offer ends this month, so call now.
I did the math and I lost 100 pounds. You don't have to pay a lot to lose a lot.
Get a month's worth of breakfast, lunches, dinners, and desserts for less than $3 a meal.
Nutrisystem is a great value.
That's right. This special limited time offer ends this month. Act now and lock in your price for the rest of 2008. So call now.
Nutrisystem, now that's real value.
Conditions going downhill for the next 7 to 12 hours.
As Ike targets Texas, stay with the Weather Channel.
There is going to be a tremendous amount of damage.
For the most up-to-the-minute information on Ike, keep watching the Weather Channel, your hurricane authority.
All new episodes of When Weather Changed History, premiering in October on the Weather Channel. Now, your local on the 8s.
Welcome back into a special storm alert edition of Abrams and Bettis Beyond the Forecast. I'm meteorologist Stephanie Abrams, live in Galveston, Texas. We appreciate all of you viewers being concerned about us and our safety. I've been told that we've been getting a lot of emails from you guys, and I want to show you just how safe we are. We are up on a big hill, and what I'm going to do is walk down this hill to show you just how high we are, because behind me is the Gulf of Mexico, and you see those waves crashing over. But look, I keep going down and down and down and down and down, and we can go even farther down until we reach Seawall Boulevard, which is where that water is washing over. So keep sending in your emails to us. Ask us questions. We'll answer them live on the show. Weather.com/TV is where you go to send us an email. Let's take you now right into the hurricane, and the Hurricane Hunter's latest message that we got at 6:24 says the central pressure is 954. If that pressure drops, if you check back in with us a little bit later, you see the pressure down to 950, that typically indicates strengthening. Their inbound flight, they had winds to 103 miles an hour. Now, here's the thing. That's up at about 9,000 feet where they're flying. You have to extrapolate that wind down to the ground, and typically when you do that, well, you lose some of that wind speed. Why? Well, you have interaction, you have friction. When you're farther away from the ground, higher up, the faster the winds can go. Now, they said the eye wall was circular. Sometimes you get a report back saying it's semicircular, maybe only one side of it looks like a semicircle, but this was a circular eye, which indicates a very well-formed system that is 57 miles across. That is a large eye for a hurricane. That is the latest from the Hurricane Hunters and the latest from Galveston Island, Texas. We'll check in with my partner, Mike Bettis, in Houston, Texas, coming up a little bit later. But let's see where all the rain from Ike is going with Carl in your Weekly Planner.
Now we want to talk a little bit about some of the severe weather that is now occurring across the middle of the country. Some very heavy rain falling today in parts of Kansas, as much as 10 inches of rain in Wichita. There were some water rescues there as well. There is a boundary that is now camped out across the middle of the country. It hasn't moved at all in the last couple of days. So we've had a tremendously heavy rain already here in parts of Kansas and parts of the nation's heartland, Missouri, and down into Arkansas. We are going to add to that when Ike comes up and through this area. So we could be talking about very serious flooding over the next couple of days. More immediately, severe weather is our concern. There is now a tornado watch area into parts of Kansas. Notice also into western Missouri, and notice that it does include the Kansas City metro area. And let's focus in on Kansas City and show you what's going on here. Tornado warning now for Wyandotte, Clay, and Platte counties. There has been damage reported with this cell, and we're talking about right in there. That is the cell that is now moving towards the northeast at 25 miles an hour. It's had a history of producing tornadoes, and it's going to be very close to Platte Woods and Northmore, right about now in Oakview, and also Gladstone at around 625. Also a tornado warning for northwestern Johnston County, and that is right in here. Very nasty supercell storm. Again, that is moving towards the northeast at about 28 miles an hour, and that is directly southwest of Kansas City. So heads up there in Kansas City. You've got a tornadic storm just off to your south and west, and we've got another one on the east side of town here as well. Tornado warning for Jackson County. That moving northeast at 25 miles an hour. Should be very close to Lake Topawingo by 6:30. Now here's why I want to show you that these are very serious storms. Take a look. In each of these cases, you see that little bit of an appendage. See how it curls down on the southwest side, right in there and right in there. That's a very good indication of a mesocyclone, a rotating storm. That is the rain that is actually wrapping in to that rotation. So the parent circulation is very healthy, and that's the circulation that produces the tornado. So we could be talking about serious tornadoes coming up here into Kansas City. I want you to take this very seriously. Now, where do we go from here? Well, there's going to be an awful lot of wet weather across much of the middle of the country. Here's the boundary that we talked about there in the plains. That's not going to move much at all. Tomorrow is going to be a very rough day through much of interior parts of Texas. In the Dallas and Fort Worth area, winds could gust to 40 miles an hour. Very heavy rain coming down as well through a lot of East Texas and into Louisiana. That moisture then lifting up and interacting with this boundary between Saturday and Sunday. So a lot of the very same areas that were pounded by Gustav with heavy rain are going to get it again, especially here in northern Arkansas. And you add the mountainous terrain in the Ozarks, a lot of that moisture is going to be channeled and funneled. We could be talking about very serious river flooding over the next couple of weeks as this moisture lifts on up. The only good news here is that it is going to move and finally make its way into the Ohio Valley and the Northeast as we get on into Monday. So let's talk about your forecast then and where we go from here. And here it is for tomorrow. Again, a really tough day across a lot of Texas. It is going to be wet, and we will see all kinds of wind wind through a lot of the eastern part of the state. So we're talking about many areas seeing inland impacts from this storm and all kinds of showers and storms in the middle of the country as well. Here's a boundary dropping down. This is going to clear everything out. We find more heavy rain on Sunday in Missouri and also into Arkansas. That then lifting up into the Ohio Valley by Monday. And there's the cool air coming down on the backside of the system. It is really going to be a taste of fall for a lot of you come Monday. 60s all the way down into the western end of the Ohio Valley. And then things are really going to settle down by the time we get to Tuesday. Very quiet weather for much of the country Tuesday and Wednesday. There are some hints that we could see new development in the Gulf of Mexico, and we're watching a couple of areas in the Atlantic, but at least for a time, it is going to be a good bit quieter. And a quick check on your temperatures, and you can see that cooler air that's going to be dropping down for the next couple of days. Here it is on Saturday, starts to come down in earnest on Sunday and really presses down getting into Monday. Well, I invite you to blog with me tonight. Log on to weather.com/TV, scroll down, and on the left, click Start Blogging. We'll share some of your thoughts throughout tonight's show, and stay tuned for live reports from both Abrams and Bettis. Steph is in Galveston and Mike is in Houston. It's hard to believe, but conditions will only get worse as landfall approaches Saturday morning.
Making every game time special all season long. With Walmart's unbeatable prices on all your favorite game time foods, moms can do anything. Save money, live better, Walmart.
Going downhill for the next 7 to 12 hours.
As Ike targets Texas, stay with the Weather Channel.
There is going to be a tremendous amount of damage.
For the most up-to-the-minute information on Ike, keep watching the Weather Channel, your hurricane authority.
All new episodes of When Weather Changed History, premiering in October on the Weather Channel. Now, your local on the 8s.
Welcome back into Abrams and Bettis. You are looking at aerial pictures from the Coast Guard sent in brand new to the Weather Channel from the helicopter of flooded homes along the Texas coast. Unfortunately, we are going to get more video into the Weather Channel that looks like this as the water continues to rise as Ike nears the coast. And we want you to send in pictures, Weather Warriors at weather.com. We already got in some pictures from some of you, our viewers, that we're going to show you a little bit later in the show. But first, let's show you video from south of here. We're in Galveston Island, Texas. I want to take you down to Surfside Beach, Texas. An entire community submerged. Trash bins floating down the street. And it's only going to get worse. Remember, this is not coming in until overnight tonight into early tomorrow. We, of course, are on Galveston Island. We're protected so far by the seawall behind us. Now, the water could get over that. As we head overnight, that surge could get higher than that seawall potentially, but a lot of places to our south, like Jamaica Beach, south end of the island, they do not have seawalls. Therefore, they are seeing water already inundating those communities. What is the latest here on Hurricane Ike? Well, we want to show you the wide picture and the satellite picture so that you can get an idea of where it's situated in the Gulf of Mexico. The clouds stretch from the Gulf all the way down to Texas. That's how large this system is. Currently, those winds 110 miles an hour, just shy of a Category 3 hurricane. It is moving now west-northwest at 13 miles an hour, and that eye looks like it's headed right in our direction. But we're going to try to bring you live pictures throughout the evening. So what do you say we go underneath the clouds and show you the rain that's falling with this? Unfortunately, we get water-wise, we get winds, we get rain, and we also get the threat for severe weather. There is a tornado watch for basically southwestern Louisiana until 10 o'clock local time, and quite a nasty line of storms that's crossing over 10 and 49. We do have a couple of tornado warnings on that. If a tornado warning is issued for your county, that means a tornado has been spotted or that they have seen rotation in the clouds. The radar picture has. So that means you need to seek shelter immediately. If the radar picks up that rotation, a tornado could be on the ground at any minute. Now, as we show you the eye, look at this radar. That eye is contracting. When it's doing that, when it's getting better organized, that could signify that this is intensifying. We're going to get more detailed forecasts on that with our hurricane expert, Dr. Steve Lyons, coming up a little bit. But this thing's had a hard time getting its act together throughout the day today, but it looks like it's really making an effort as it's closing in on the Texas coast. Where is it headed to after it plows through Galveston and Houston? Well, guess what? College Station, listen up, Waco, Dallas, Shreveport. Through the day on Saturday, it looks like this is going to continue in your direction, and it looks like through Saturday afternoon it could stay at hurricane force. Regardless, a lot of rain will be falling with this. How about the intensity? As I mentioned, we are right on the border, Cat 2, Cat 3. Will it make landfall as a Cat 2 or Cat 3? Well, it looks like it's going to be a close one. It doesn't matter if it is a strong Cat 2, weak Cat 3. You will see the same damage if you're right there on that line. So it does look like it's going to be a very wet and windy night, and of course that water rise is going to continue. Let's head northbound to Houston on I-45 to meteorologist Mike Bettis, my partner. And Mike, speaking of that water rise, I'm thinking Galveston Bay could see higher water levels than we do here at the coast.
Well, it's very possible because we're enclosed here, and so you get the water that pushes in, and it doesn't really want to retreat back out. So it's something that we're going to watch. And I'm going to show you again real quick here where we are and how much the water has come up here. That's a sidewalk down there, and there are boat docks out there where they've got shore power, and those are basically going underwater now, and the docks are submerged. There's one out here that we were watching yesterday, and the water is about 3 feet below it. Now it's about 3 feet over top of it, and it's starting to tear it apart a little bit. So we've got some water rise here, no question about that. We're not necessarily concerned about high waves on Nassau Bay. High waves could be a problem, though, on Galveston Bay. And again, once you get that surge that comes up, doesn't want to retreat very quickly, and then you put waves on top of that, that is a recipe for disaster. No question about it. Winds, they're definitely going to be a factor as well. We've seen them ramp up here through the evening hours. You look at places like the Louisiana coast. We've got wind gusts there up to 43 miles an hour. We've got winds around here, Houston and Galveston, low to mid 30s. Those are probably going to double before long here. So winds can't be underestimated with this system, especially considering just how large it is. Wave heights are going to be a huge problem as well. And taking a look at some of the wave heights out there from the buoys, you can get about 19 out there in the middle of the Gulf, and you take a look at like Corpus Christi, about 17, and over toward, say, Mobile. And again, that just shows you the scope of the system. Alabama, about 16 there at the edge of Mobile Bay. So we've got some serious water that we'll be contending with here until Ike makes landfall and then eventually moves inland here. So when you take a look at the water rise that's coming up, you take a look at the waves that are then set up on top of that surge, you've got a tremendous amount of damage that it could incur, especially the property that's right along the water. So along the Galveston coastline here, a 25 to 32-foot waves. The Louisiana coastline, 16 to 24-foot waves. So that is going to cause a lot of damage, tremendous beach erosion. It's something to certainly consider if you're living along the coast and you haven't evacuated. This may be your absolute last chance to get out. Surge cities, though, right here in Galveston Bay are going to be a problem, especially if we've got a very strong easterly component to the wind. And we've seen generally a northeast wind today. Eventually, it's going to turn almost due east here. So if you live on the western side of Galveston Bay, that's going to be a big problem. Deer Park and Seabrook, the Johnson Space Center, basically across the street from where I am right now here at Clear Lake. That could be a location that could be problematic. League City, and then as you work your way down toward Texas City, where they've got a seawall there, and we've got some huge oil refineries there in Texas City, and we need to protect those because the last thing we need is oil refineries that are already shut down and then maybe shut down even longer, Stephanie, because they've had flooding and surge, and that is going to send the oil markets into a dizzying spin upwards, unfortunately. But we've got a long way to go here before everything is said and done, Stephanie, and unfortunately, it's another one of those hurricanes that's making landfall at night.
I was going to bring up that point, Mike. Maybe we'll talk about that a little bit later. Of course, if you don't live by the coast, you need to pay attention because that oil could affect us across the country. Mike, thanks for that. We're going to head now to Port Arthur and check in with Jorma Duran, who's been there throughout the day. Jorma, how's the weather like where you're located, just north of here?
Well, you should be able to see a live picture of Port Arthur, or at least the southern tip of it. And this is the worst weather we've experienced within the past 2 hours. Now, that doesn't mean it hasn't been raining or been very windy. In fact, I've been using my wind gauge, and we've had sustained winds at 25, 26. In fact, the wind gauge has never dropped below 24 miles per hour over the past 2 hours, and we've reached a 42.7 mile per hour gust. So that's how windy it is. Now, what you're looking at is some water, obviously, and you're looking at water that is usually motionless during a normal day, and you're seeing 3, 4, up to 5 foot high waves with some white caps. Now, we're also showing you this video because you see that piece of island right there. Well, that's called Pleasure Island. And to give you an idea of where Port Arthur is in comparison to the Gulf of Mexico, in the middle is Lake Sabine. And this stretch of land is cutting right through Lake Sabine, so it kind of separates Port Arthur and the Gulf of Mexico. We show you this piece of land because if we get that storm surge that we are talking about, maybe 15 up to 20 feet, that stretch of land, that Pleasure Island, will be underwater, and the water will be heading towards you, basically towards the camera, up along this seawall. And we're going to show you this seawall right now that raises up about 12 to 14 feet high. Now, the water isn't even close to reaching the top, but if that storm surge does head up into this area, we may see the waters go up and over, and that's really what the people are worried about. They're concerned about the wind, but they're more worried about flooding, i.e. the storm surge that may crest over this seawall. And so, of course, it's now a waiting game, and this is the worst weather we've had in the past 3 or 4 hours, but this is nothing to what we are expecting within the next 6 to 10 hours. So, again, we're concerned about the wind, but we're worried about the storm surge. Back to you.
All right, Jorma, thanks for that. Of course, they are no strangers to hurricanes. Rita devastated that area as well. It is wind, it is rain, it is surge, but it's also severe weather. With more on that, I'm going to hand it back to Carl, who's in studio this evening.
All right, Steph, thank you so much. We are talking about severe weather across a lot of the middle of the country, and we've also got a very serious flash flooding threat that's going to go on for a couple of days. We could be seeing a disaster on top of a disaster in a couple of days, as you've got a front through the middle of the country that has not moved at all. So we've had very heavy rain in parts of Kansas, in excess of 10 inches in some areas, ongoing rescues in Wichita today, and we've also had some serious problems around Kansas City, some flash flooding being reported there as well. And the hurricane is going to come up and interact with that boundary in the next couple of days, and the result is going to be very heavy rain across the region. We are talking about tremendously heavy rain developing in parts of Arkansas as well as into Missouri, and then a little farther northward as we move on into Sunday. It is going to be rough over the next couple of days, and we'll have more on that coming up in just a couple of minutes. We'll have the very latest on tornado warnings as well, some tornado warnings now ongoing in the Kansas City metro area. We will be right back with warnings from our severe weather expert, Dr. Greg Forbes. He'll have the latest on that. And there you see the radar picture into Louisiana, and tornado warnings here as well. There is a tornado watch in central parts of Louisiana. This is going to be a problem as the storm continues to work on shore. We'll have the very latest on that coming up in just a couple of minutes. And stay tuned to the Weather Channel for continuous coverage of Hurricane Ike up to, during, and after landfall. There you see the water that is already beginning to come up along the coast. This is only going to get worse over the next several hours. Our coverage continues in just a moment.
Why are pets everywhere feeling good and looking great? They're all getting pedicures. Pedicure is the painless and easy way to care for your pet's nails. But unfortunately, the nail clipper has injured a countless number of pets. Inside the nail, there is sensitive blood-filled tissue called the quick. As many of us have experienced, cuts are blind and inaccurate, causing injury. Even when the quick is not cut, the pressure from the blades pinch down on the sensitive nerves, causing sharp pain. Clippers split and crush the nail, leaving it jagged and rough. Filing is the natural and correct way to trim an animal's nails. Gentle filing is totally painless and removes enamel in paper-thin increments. Removal in thin layers is the key to what makes giving a pedicure so controllable and safe. Pedicure shapes the nail to a smooth and rounded finish, and you get the nails much shorter. Sharp overgrowth develops quickly, but in just seconds, those sharp edges are gone. That's why pet parents are feeling just as good as their pets. No more painful scratches, and the hardwood floors and furniture stay looking new. The specially designed rotary tool and the innovative pedicure guard make it so easy, safe, and mess-free. Giving pedicures is fun and gives you confidence. Because when you're confident, your pet is calm.
And that's what we're all about in veterinary medicine, is alleviating pain and making the life of the pet better. We think this will be a great addition to our practice.
I would recommend pedicure to anyone that's going to do nails, not only the professionals that we work with, but non-professionals. Anybody that wants to trim their pet's nails, don't use anything except this, because this will guarantee that you're not going to hurt your pet, and that's what it's all about.
Treat your pet to the ultimate grooming experience.
Completely eliminate the fear of hurting your pet while providing your pet the secret that the groomers are raving about. Not available in stores. Call 1-800-571-6861. That's 1-800-571-6861.
You are watching a special storm alert edition of Abrams and Bettis Beyond the Forecast, and we're just hours away from Ike making landfall. And mark my words, this will be the most significant weather event to hit the Houston-Galveston area in years. No question about it. So we've got a huge storm surge potential. We've got a high wind potential. We've also got so many areas that we're concerned about, especially right out on the coast. That includes Galveston. The seawall there, we're hoping it holds, because we are going to have it tested with Hurricane Ike, a tremendous wind field that is going to really push that storm surge and those high waves on top of that into the city of Galveston. So we could potentially be looking at some serious structural damage there on the island, and we're really worried about that Causeway Bridge too. Will it be cut off? It's a new bridge. We hope that it stands up to the test of Hurricane Ike. So we've got a lot of concerns with Ike: the wind, the rain, we've got the surge, but we've also got a severe weather threat with Hurricane Ike, as we often have with landfalling tropical systems. So a tornado threat right now across southwest Louisiana. What that means is the atmosphere is ripe for tornadoes to form. So that watch, it goes tonight until 10 o'clock local time. So be aware that even though you may live far away from the center of Hurricane Ike, there could be a tornado threat because of it. So let's get a little bit more insight on that. We're going to bring in now our severe weather expert, Dr. Greg Forbes. Dr. Forbes, you've seen a lot of these systems make landfall, and we've had a lot this year that have actually spun up a lot of tornadoes. What do you see happening with this storm on the right front quadrant, and do you see that we could see maybe anything on the rear quadrant of this system?
Yeah, both right front and trailing behind at the right trailing quadrant will have tornadoes, and they'll go up on Sunny and get hooked up with a stationary front. That front is already giving us tornadoes today, even before we get the Ike's moisture and circulation up into the area. Here, in fact, is that situation. Here we've been talking about the cold front. There's been places in Kansas had 10 inches of rain before Ike gets there, and it's now teamed up with a warm front here. Very warm in the 80s south of that front. The winds shift. So across the Kansas City area, central Missouri, even over Indiana, we're getting tornadoes with this up to northwest of Kansas City, southwest of Kansas City, southeast of Kansas City, and then over around Saline County, we have a tornado warning. Let me zoom in. We have a possible tornado up here, Clay County, Missouri, northeast of Kansas City, up around the Gladstone, the Kearney areas, and then down around Independence toward the Sibley area, a possibility of a tornado. Also over in Indiana, Lawrence and Monroe counties, a tornado has been sighted. Now with Ike, one big rain band spirals its way in from east to northwest. There we have places near Oberlin, south of Opelousas, north of Lafayette, north of Franklin, where we have that possibility of tornadoes. Mike?
All right, Dr. Forbes, that is good stuff. We're certainly going to keep track of what's going on here with Hurricane Ike as that center circulation, that eye, begins to make its way here. Of course, still to come here on Abrams and Bettis Beyond the Forecast, your tropical update. We're going to be back in studio with hurricane expert Dr. Steve Lyons. Stick around. That is
all around the world, men with erectile dysfunction have taken 36-hour Cialis. Today, men can also be ready with another dosing option, Cialis for daily use, a clinically proven low-dose tablet you take every day, so you can be ready anytime the moment is right.
Tell your doctor about your medical condition and all medications, and ask if you're healthy enough for sexual activity. Don't take Cialis if you take nitrates for chest pain, as this may cause an unsafe drop in blood pressure. Don't drink alcohol in excess with Cialis. Side effects may include headache, upset stomach, delayed backache, or muscle ache. To avoid long-term injury, seek immediate medical help for an erection lasting more than 4 hours. If you have any sudden decrease or loss in hearing or vision, stop taking Cialis and call your doctor right away.
36-hour Cialis or Cialis for daily use. Ask your doctor if a Cialis option is right for you. So when the moment is right, you can be ready.
For great college football from across the country, you need ESPN Game Plan from DirecTV. With key matchups and rivalries from major conferences, ESPN Game Plan has up to 12 games every Saturday from outside your local area. Order now for the special early bird offer, and you'll be all set for a full season of college football with ESPN Game Plan from DirecTV. Order now for only 2 payments of $54.50 each. Call 1-800-GET-SPORTS or go to directv.com/gameplan.
Live only on DirecTV, it's Farm Aid 2008 with live performances from Willie Nelson and Neil Young. John Mellencamp, Dave Matthews, Kenny Chesney, and many more as they team up to help keep family farms alive. Exclusive commercial-free coverage starts Saturday, September 20th at 4 p.m. Eastern on the 101 Network, only on DirecTV.
Conditions going downhill for the next 7 to 12 hours.
As Ike targets Texas, stay with the Weather Channel.
There is going to be a tremendous amount of damage.
For the most up-to-the-minute information on Ike, keep watching the Weather Channel, your hurricane authority. Coverage of Ike continues here on the Weather Channel. Now, your local on the 8s.
Welcome back into a special edition of Abrams and Bettis Beyond the Forecast. We are in storm alert mode here at the Weather Channel, and it's time now for your tropical update. I want to bring in our hurricane expert, Dr. Steve Lyons, with your tropical update. Dr. Lyons, we are right now borderline Category 2, Category 3. What are you anticipating with wind damage. And it doesn't necessarily matter if it comes in as a strong Cat 2 or weak Cat 3, right? You'll still have about the same damage.
That's right. If you look at our damage potential here, right now we're sitting up here at 110 miles per hour. These are man-made lines. We could have easily set the difference between a Category 2 and Category 3 at 120, and then we would be looking at whether or not it became a 2 or 3 there. The bottom line is if it jumps to the Category 3 range, we're just right in here. The damage potential has really not changed much. Now, if it gets into the Category 3 range and is way up here, there's significant difference there. So now let's look at what we're expecting from this relative to damage itself to structures along the coastline. And when this thing comes in, it has a very wide area of strong winds. So we can expect windows to blow out if they're not covered, particularly on the coast where the winds are coming from the ocean toward the land. Trees down, signs down, fences that are more solid could go down, roofs damaged, cladding on the side of your house could be blown off, leaky roofs, of course. Some mobile homes could be damaged or destroyed as well. So we can see significant damage from a strong Category 2 hurricane here, and that's our damage area that we expect to be the most likely, and with the possibility farther inland. Of course, as the circulation moves inland, the winds typically weaken. Now, relative to power outages, we don't need as much wind strength to cause the power outage. We have a very broad tropical storm and hurricane wind field, so expect a very wide area of power outages to sweep inland through the eastern portions of Texas, particularly over the Galveston and the Houston area. So later tonight, you're going to see some flying debris around. Make sure you have any loose objects in the area taken inside so they don't blow around and hit your house. And stay away from open windows or windows that aren't covered. In the meantime, we're going to expect some very high wave action, and that's going to be coming on shore with locally high elevation of water rise. Now, the water rise is going to come on shore when the wind turns out of the south. Right now, the wind's out of the east or east-northeast. When it comes out of the south in a few hours, the water's going to be climbing from 10 feet to much higher. And then superimposed on that is going to be the wave action that's going to be on the order of 20 to 30 feet on top of that. Now, as we move inland, we're also going to find a swath of heavy rain, and that's going to cause some street flooding in the Houston area, in those low-lying areas in particular, and that could spread up into the northern Dallas area, but not as intense there, and then off along a frontal boundary up to the northeast over the next couple of days. So we're going to look for many, many impacts, and a lot of them are going to start very soon in the next few hours. In the meantime, the good news is we're not looking at any other features that are of imminent development in the tropical Atlantic, which is great news. So we'll concentrate on this in the next 12 hours. Houston, be ready. Back to you.
All right, Dr. Lyons, thanks for your expertise. We want to now show you brand new video in to Abrams and Bettis of a yacht fire here in Galveston. We're told this is at a boat storage area, a yacht fire right now. And actually, there was a fire here when I was here for Rita, as a matter of fact. So a lot of damage, not only what Dr. Lyons described, but you never can rule out fires. Now, I want to bring in my partner, Mike Bettis, who's up in Houston. And Mike, speaking a little bit towards this yacht fire, we are told that they will not make rescues after 9 p.m. local time. Now, they went against their word, they said in Rita, and made some rescues, but they will not do that in Ike. So I want people that are watching, they might think 911 will bail me out, but that's not necessarily always the case.
Well, and you know, so far, Stephanie, we haven't seen the worst of Ike so far, and the Coast Guard is already making a ton of rescues, over 100 rescues so far today. But there's going to be a point that will come where it's too dangerous for them to be out there in their boats. It's going to be too dangerous for them to fly their choppers. So it's not going to be a scenario where the Coast Guard can come and save the day. And I think that's something people really need to take into consideration, Steph.
Absolutely. And Mike, I want to talk a little bit more about Ike. I was pretty surprised. This thing was like Faye. It seems like it's east loaded with rain. We are just now getting rain from that system. It seems like that dry air that had kind of gotten into the west side really took hold of this thing. I mean, not a lot of rain for this thing not being too far offshore.
Yeah, well, absolutely right. I mean, it's hardly rained at all here in Houston, and we probably don't expect to see here, maybe at least the heaviest of rain, for several more hours once it gets past Galveston, Stephanie. So for a lot of people, especially the initial stages of the storm, it's going to be a dry event. It's going to be surge, and it's going to be wind, but very little rain, if any.
Until we get on the other side. Mike, have you heard of any curfew? We have a curfew here on the island, as a matter of fact, 8 p.m. actually Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, of course, running to the overnight hours. Any word there?
Yeah, for the evacuation zones, there is a curfew that begins tonight. So if you're in an evacuation zone and you haven't left, you can't leave your home. Just stay there, shelter in this evening. That's the best thing that you can do. And I want to pass along some new information, Stephanie, that we're just now getting out of Montgomery County now. We're getting reports now that we've got some folks that are trapped, 15 people trapped in a roof of a church there, and 3 people on another roof across the street from it. This is in the Crystal Beach area in Montgomery County, I believe. Maybe that's not Montgomery County, it's just Crystal Beach in the Houston area, excuse me. But 15 people trapped in a church roof, 3 people trapped on a roof across the street. But the sheriff saying that the dangerous conditions keep them from actually going out and seeing if those people are okay or not. So very difficult, because the sheriff says that we don't know if we can confirm that or not. So a very interesting, Stephanie, to see what's going on here. And again, Ike has not even made landfall yet.
It's still several hours away from making landfall, and we're already feeling the effects throughout Louisiana as well. That's why I want to bring in Carl Parker. Carl, severe weather throughout Louisiana. Tornado watch there actually till 10.
There is tornado watch there. We've got a tornado watch in the middle of the country as well. Let's talk about what's going on here into Kansas. There's a tornado watch area here. We've had some tornado warnings. One now for Jackson and Ray County, and a tornado was spotted near Independence. That tornado is going to be very close to Oric near the top of the hour, moving towards the northeast at about 30 miles an hour. And as we take you much farther southward, once again, as Stephanie mentioned, there is a tornado watch area into Louisiana. A couple of tornado warnings here. These cells are moving off towards the north and towards the west pretty rapidly. We'll have more on that coming up in just a couple of minutes. We'll be right back with another hour of live coverage right here on AMB.
Making every game time special all season long. With Walmart's unbeatable prices on all your favorite game time foods, moms can do anything. Save money, live better, Walmart.
64% of people don't notice odors in their own home. Now there's Refresh Paint only from Dutch Boy, with Arm & Hammer technology that continuously eliminates household odors day after day. Dutch Boy Refresh Paint adds beauty and eliminates household odors.
Travel now. No passport required for U.S. citizens. Puerto Rico. Explore beyond the shore. Puerto Rico. No passport required for U.S. citizens.
Conditions going downhill for the next 7 to 12 hours.
As Ike targets Texas, stay with the Weather Channel.
There is going to be a tremendous amount of damage.
For the most up-to-the-minute information on Ike, keep watching the Weather Channel, your hurricane authority.
The Weather Channel is brought to you by this cable or satellite provider. You can also get reliable forecasts from the Weather Channel through this radio station or newspaper.
Coverage of Ike continues here on the Weather Channel. Now, you're local on the 8s.